Well, you join us for what could be a very entertaining race. We have lost a few drivers in the making of this race, but we have finally got it working. Welcome back. Hello everyone. Welcome back to a GT7 event here at the Red Bull Ring. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go here in the Red Bull Ring. We've only got 7 drivers due to the connection issues, but it's Bonneville away quickly from the start ahead of Dan Schneider. Danny Fox looking to send one up the inside of the Nissan GT. Can't quite find the room. Ted in 4th place ahead of Wolfie in 5th, Pierre in 6th, Joe Black running up the grid in 7th place. We've got 20 laps of the Red Bull Ring. Should have been 27, but we've had a few connection issues, and hopefully this race will work. Bonneville now defending the inside line from Dan Schneider, trying to go around the outside. Danny Fox on the inside of Ted. McLaren versus the Beetle, and the McLaren has come out on top. Maybe Wolfie in the Subaru might try and follow him through, as Joe Black has got ahead of Piero down at turn 3. And the run down towards turn 4. Dan Schneider now on the inside of Bonneville. Can he get this move done? Late on the brakes. Bonnie's going to try and hold it around the outside, but if you try and hold it around the outside for too long, you'll pretty likely get forced off the track as Piero makes his way up into 6th place and ahead of Joe Black. From what I'm understanding, it looks like everyone's gotten away cleanly, and that there is no lagging car on the start-finish straight. That was the issue in the last lobby. It only took 9 laps for me to realise what happened. We couldn't actually see it in the spectator cam. Ted picks up a 5/10 penalty for going wide at turn 8, which we'll have to serve before turn 9 on the following lap. But it is Dan Schneider who leads the field away from the first lap, at the end of the first lap, onto lap 2, ahead of Bonneville, who's going to be challenging going in towards turn 1. That McLaren, not too bad in the straight line, but backs out of it. Going into turn 1, we'll just settle into 2nd place for now, waiting for maybe a better opportunity down at turn 3. Up the hill, into the heavy braking hairpin. What about Wolfie on Ted? The 2 Irish drivers going side by side, the Subaru versus the Beetle. Ted though with a penalty, which he'll have to serve later on in the lap, so he'll be hoping he gets ahead, but has to settle into 5th place for now. Wolfie's gone a little bit wide though, that could allow Ted to slot one in up the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel now, down the back straight, in the run down towards turn 4. Who's going to come out on top in this personal affairs? Maybe Piero might get involved in this one as well, make it 3 wide, but in the Hyundai we'll just back out of it. Ted will go down the inside of Wolfie in towards turn 4. They're still going to go wheel to wheel on the exit of the corner. Ted though on the inside, you'd think he'd have it done. Wolfie might try and poke a bumper in, but can't quite find enough pace to get in on the inside. But Ted could lose 2 positions here. He's got 2 cars closely following behind, with a 5/10 penalty to his name, approaching the penalty gates. Dan Schneider on the medium tyre, starting to pull out a gap to Bonneville. There goes Ted, pulls off the racing line to serve his penalty and drops behind both Piero and Wolfie going into turn 9. That's what makes the penalty gates so much more harsher than getting a time penalty, whereas before you could brake slightly earlier and serve it. Now you have to slow down properly for 5/10 on the lap you get the penalty. 3 drivers closely making their way through turn 1. One of them going off turn 1, Piero running wide. He may get a penalty despite losing the position to Ted. He might have backed off enough. The game found him guilty of track limits as he loses another position to Ted. He might try and send one up the inside or get ahead of the Irishman before he serves the penalty. Meanwhile, Danny Fox with a 5/10 penalty, close pursuit of the other McLaren on the grid in the battle for 2nd place. As the battle for 4th place is really kicking off. Piero just dropping back slightly, but the slipstream should be able to keep him in it for just a few more corners before he has to serve the time penalty. The lead driver, Dan Schneider, making his way through the final sector ahead of Bonneville, who's been closely followed by Danny Fox before he serves his 5/10 penalty. Pierre's going to drop about 2 seconds or so behind Ted as he serves his 5/10 penalty. Different tracks. Ted though with a 5/10 penalty, so Pierre's going to be right back in this battle for 5th place. If he can catch up to the back of Ted. Some tracks are more stricter with the penalty gates. Some of them are at the end of a long, or halfway down a long straight, which makes you lose a little bit more time. Red Bull Ring's one of the nicest, to be honest. It's just before the final, the penultimate corner, so you don't actually lose too much time. At this one, for example, Daytona, it's halfway down the back straight, well, the start-finish straight, so cars are going to be flying past you at 100 and something so miles per hour, whilst you're having to slow down, depending on how much time penalties you have. Bon Evil with a 5/10 penalty might lose the position to Danny Fox. Danny Fox making his Gavra Racing GT7 debut tonight, opting for the Group 3 McLaren, as well as Bon Evil, who's 9/10 behind the Brits and could find himself ahead, as Bon Evil has a 5/10 time penalty, but continue to ride on board with him through the middle sector. Very cautious, trying not to run over the white lines and pick up a time penalty. Bon Evil pulls over off the racing line to serve the time penalty, but will he keep the position? We'll have to wait and see. They're going to go wheel to wheel in towards turn 9, but Danny Fox gets ahead. One McLaren ahead of the other, and now Bon Evil is going to be the hunter in the battle for second place. If these two keep picking up time penalties, Wolfie might find himself in the battle for the podium position. He's got 2 second gap to Ted and Piero, aided by those two picking up time penalties. Piero trailing Ted in towards turn 1. Is he going to send one on the inside? Not on this lap. Bon Evil, though, only 3/10 behind Danny Fox. He might have enough straight line speed and the exit from turn 1 to launch one in towards turn 3. He pulls over, but backs off over into the racing line, but pulls over again because he's late on the brakes. Makes a little bit of contact with the fellow McLaren driver, though, wheel to wheel down the back straight in towards turn 4. Who had the better exit? Looks like Bon Evil, or could be in a higher engine mode. Maybe Danny Fox could be saving fuel, but they're still going to go wheel to wheel in towards turn 4. Bon Evil on the inside. Danny Fox might set himself up for the good old switcheroo on the exit. Go wide, cut inside and get a good run. He has done, but he's going to need about another 10 seconds worth of straight if he's to pull up alongside and make a move before going through turns 6 and 7, as they now go through the right-hander of turn 8. Wolfie is gaining on this battle, and 1.5 seconds between these two. Danny Fox looking to the inside of Bon Evil in towards turn 9. It's ready to see a move into this corner, more easier in the GT3 cars. Bon Evil with a beautiful switchback gets the move done. Back up into second place, but Danny Fox is going to repay the favour and get the move done up into second place. They're going to go wheel to wheel across the line. I think that might have been a dead heat from the two, but Danny Fox with the inside has it covered, gets back up into second place, and look who's joining the fun. Wolfie in the Subaru catching up to the two McLarens who have lost so much time to Dan Schneider. Now 6 seconds is the lead out in front. Wheel to wheel, door to door they go, up the hill once again in towards turn 3. It's Danny Fox that has the advantage of the inside line. Bonnie's going to try and swoop one around the outside and get the good traction on the exit, but they've got to be careful of Wolfie behind, who's right on board with the Subaru. He sees Bon Evil on the left, Danny Fox on the right. Which way is he going to go? Is he going to go in the middle? Just tucks in behind for now. He's going to bide his time and wait for the perfect opportunity in the limited laps we have of this race. The sun is shining. Doesn't look like we're going to get rain anytime soon, as the two in front still going wheel to wheel. This is beautiful racing from Bon Evil and Danny Fox. Maybe Danny Fox, if he decides to join the championship, he could be a contender for at least the top 3. Smoke coming up from the apex of the corner. I think that might have made slight contact, which is how Wolfie's got such a good run on Danny Fox. But they're going to go single file in towards the final corner. Never mind, no they're not. Danny Fox is going to launch one on the inside and Wolfie's going to follow him through. Bon Evil's had a shocking final 2 corners. He's gone from 2nd to 4th. Danny Fox pulls over to the right hand side to try and break the toe from the 2 behind. We're on lap 7 out of 20. Out of 20. Piero only 2.8 seconds behind the battle for second place. There are only 7 cars on this grid, but it's an outstanding race. More racing than Daytona probably, although Daytona we had little, but Really nice overtakes. Wolfie's trying to go around the outside of Danny Fox, gets caught on the yellow sausage curb as the helicopter flies over the 3 cars. Wolfie and Bon Evil now door to door as they make their way run down towards turn 4. Danny Fox is able to stay ahead on this occasion. We can actually see the weather radar on Danny Fox's car. That could be useful for if it was to rain. Your race leader, Dan Schneider, with a 7.9 second lead, has a 5/10 penalty, so we'll be slowing down in the next couple of corners. Piero, 2.9 seconds behind Wolfie, 3.2 seconds ahead of Ted, who's over 5 seconds ahead of Joe Black. Dan Schneider serves his time penalty, which allowed the 3 behind him to catch up, but he still leads this race on the medium tyres. Strategy's going to be interesting because, well, we've reduced it from 27 to 20 laps because we had a few laps before we restarted. And I think there's only 15 or 16 laps of fuel in the car, so they can't make it to the end, but they will have to pit during this race unless they're able to save 4 laps of fuel, which is a lot. It doesn't look like the top 4 are doing that. It doesn't look like anyone's saving that much fuel. They've all got about the same, unless they're all in fuel mode 6. It looks like everyone's going to make a pit stop. For this event, I've said no tyre requirements. All 5 are available, the softs, mediums, the hards, the intermediates and the wets. The final 2 compounds would be used if it starts to rain. Although riding on board with Danny Fox, there are some clouds, but none that strike a threat to the current track conditions. A threat, though, coming from his left-hand side. Bon Evil trying to go round the outside of Danny Fox in towards turn 4. We'll try the old switcheroo, though. Go wide, cut inside, and get the move done up into second place, but Danny Fox still on the inside. Isn't going to give this one up without a fight. Makes a little bit of contact with Bon Evil's rear left tyre. Maintains second place, though, for now. Wolfie's just going to sit in the background and watch this battle all unfold in front of him, as there's probably the fear of it ending in the barrier. Just like Dan Schneider and Jetsy done a few weeks ago at Daytona. We'll have to wait and see, only time will tell. We run it right on board with the front bumper view of Bon Evil as he follows the other McLaren. He's got Wolfie just slightly dropping off behind. 9/10 is the gap as they make their way through turn 1. The sun rising, or is it the sun setting in front of them? I don't know. Apologies about the silence, it's just a minor incident outside. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. But Danny Fox still ahead of Bon Evil. Wolfie in 4th place. Looks like everything outside at my place has been settled. I'm not sure what's going on outside. But Bon Evil trying to go around the outside now in towards turn 9. Someone is off the track and it's Joe Black off in the gravel at turn 6. His medium tyres maybe getting the better of him. Dan Schneider, Danny Fox was either forced out wide or ran wide at the final corner. It was hard to tell. Wolfie now trying to go for it on the inside of Danny Fox. Is getting a bit close now in the battle for second place with the Subaru. Send one on Bon Evil, not on this lap. Danny Fox holding it on the outside. Yeah, the elbows are being thrown out and he picks up a 5/10 penalty. This may be a desperate attempt to get back through the field, so the 5/10 penalty doesn't cost him too much time. Is he going to go for it on the outside? He was later on the brakes than Wolfie, but rather than ploughing into the back of him or taking him out on the inside, done the good thing and went over off the track to the outside. Sensible move from Danny Fox. Does still have the 5/10 penalty though from going wide at turn 1. Oh, he's got damage now from hitting the back of Wolfie, and Wolfie's now off the track. Danny Fox slows down to let him go through. There you can see the braking inputs from the McLaren. Pierre is now going to go through up into third place, and we were saying, well, I said it a few laps ago, how this battling could end in the barriers. It's ended off in the gravel traps at turn 4. Danny Fox too late on the brakes, hit the back of Wolfie. Oh, the music's just started playing. I'm not sure why that's happened, but thankfully it's non-copyrighted music, and the racing can resume. Danny Fox serving as penalty. Wise move would be to probably come into the pits halfway through the race, maybe put a bit on set of medium tyres. No, they don't. They both stay out. Actually, I think the fuel could go to the end. How have they done that then? So when I was driving the Ford GT, it had 15 laps of fuel. It doesn't look like any of them have saved fuel. Dan Schneider may be in a lot of trouble. I said before the race, the drivers could change from their quali tyre, seeing as the grid was random pretty much. But it's going to be tough to see if Dan Schneider can get to the end. I don't think it's going to get to the end. Someone appeared to be backwards. I don't know. Danny Fox, though, going for a move on the inside of Wolfie. They both have damage, so their straight line speed is going to be impacted quite significantly by the damage. For those F1 viewers, when you lose your front wing, you lose speed in the corners. When you get front or rear bumper damage, you lose speed in the straights. Suspension damage is where you lose it in the corners. So that is the GT damage model. You can see in the bottom left the red flashing rear bumper on Wolfie's car, and the front flashing bumper on Danny's car indicates the damage. You can see the 3 main areas of damage: the aero, so the bumpers, the suspension, the 4 tyres, and the engine, the big thing in the middle, the thing that powers these cars. But Bonivo's now got a lot of breathing space from Piero and the cars behind. Ted looking to try and go for a move on his teammate, or his former teammate I should say. They're not really teammates in this event because there are no teammates. You can see Wolfie there can't really put up a fight against Ted's Beetle going in towards turn 1. Danny Fox with a 5/10 penalty. That's not going to help his race out at all. But it looks like the fuel can go to the end. The fuel shouldn't go to the end. It was definitely ×2 on the fuel. I don't know how they've done it. I don't know how they're doing it, but Dan Schneider's got half a tank left and he's done more than half the race. They should be pitting in the next 3 laps for fuel, but hey-ho. Don't know what's happened there. But Dan Schneider continues to lead this race, but might have to make another pit stop. Danny Fox is going to have to serve his time penalty, and he's got Ted drifting through turn 6. So he's going to be under pressure from the 2 cars behind. Does also have damage, but he's kept the position. Maintains 4th place. As they will go on to start lap number 13 out of 20. Dan Schneider leads the way, but his advantage is coming down. He may be trying to take those medium tyres to the end of the race despite the significant amount of wear. If he can do it, it would be a miracle. He's got a 6.5 second gap to Bonivo. If he loses a second a lap, Bonivo will catch him on the final lap of the race. Let me know, guys, in the chats below or to the side, wherever it is on your device. Will Dan Schneider pit and win this race, or will he stay out on those worn medium tyres and risk his advantage? The hard tyre, well, I mean, look how much of a difference the hards and the mediums are on this game, on last year's game. I mean, it wasn't this much. It's certainly not that much. So what we're learning essentially from this race is if in the future league races I say that the race is going to be 30 laps, tyre wear is going to be something like times 7, times 8, do you do the whole thing on hards, or do you go from hard to hard, medium, medium, medium? Because what we found out from GT Sport, especially in the Group 4 races, when we've had slightly shorter races, is worn softs are just as quick as fresh mediums. That's what we were learning in GT Sport. Worn mediums against what are pretty much fresh hards, it looks like they're at their tipping point at this track, and unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to get any rain. That's a shame. We're going to have to do a 3-hour race until it rains. That's going to be the next event. But yeah, the gaps started to open up slightly, maybe due to the tyre wear and the damage, also because of the lack of drivers here tonight. We had 14 sign up, only 7 racing, which is a shame, really. But there is nothing, we can do. We are looking for more drivers, so if anyone is interested in racing on a GT Sport, GT7 event or GT Sports Championship, we host a number of variety of different events. We have these one-off events for those who might just sit in for one race. We have mini seasons, 3-4 races long for those who don't have much time. For those who don't think they can commit to a longer length season, so 3-4 race calendars, mainly with different themes. Is what I'm going to go for on this game. So maybe like a Japanese tour, European tour, that sort of stuff. We're also going to start up the main championship later on the line, down in July. No, not July, so August, September. We're going to host mini seasons and events during the summer because people like to go on holiday. I'm certainly going away. It's probably been 4 years since I've been out of England, so I will be looking to escape. No, it's not. 3 years. No, yeah, 3 years since I've been out of this country, so I'll be looking to escape somewhere for a week or two over the summer. So yeah, we're going to host one-off events and mini seasons, mini championships before we get the usual 9-12 race calendar on the way. Bonneville is closing down Dan Schneider at a rapid rate of knots. His medium tyres are gone. But this is useful data, I guess, for when the seasons do start, as to how much more durable the hards are to the mediums. The softs must just be awful, to be honest. Which begs the question, what do you do if I said tyre wear times 2, really low, but you have to use the hards? Do you do the whole race in the hards? Because you could do a whole race on hards. Or do you go like soft, soft? Who knows? Who knows what strategies we'll bring in the future? Only time will tell. We will be experimenting with a few things. That's what these events are for. Unfortunately, it's been the connection issues that let us down today, rather than, ow, I just hit my toe. If you heard that noise, that's just had my toe breaking. And yep, all is good. I've lost my train of thought now. What was I saying? Something about lobbies. Oh yeah, last event at Daytona, the grid was random. Then the lobby wouldn't start because it said not everyone loaded in. But yeah, this time it's been a connection issue, and we're down to the final 3 laps. It doesn't look like we're going to get any rain at all, unfortunately, and you can't actually set rain. You can't customize rain for Austria, but you can have rain, because this game is a bit weird, and some would say broken. For those who thought F1 2020 or F1 2021 was broken at launch, I'm sorry, you should play this game. The game itself is fantastic, it's beautiful, the driving, the things available. It's lovely. I mean, polyphony in making this game are exactly like Codemasters. They add new features. The game looks good. I'll say this game does look better than F1. You know, they bring in all this new, cool, fancy stuff, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's the annoying thing. The audio glitches and the online stability was awful at launch. Don't get me started about all the other glitches. There's not enough time left in this race to go into all of those. It looks like the sun, though, is setting in the mountains of Austria, and Dan Schneider's lead is at risk. He's pretty much puncture territory, although you can't get punctures, and Bon Evil is likely to go swooping past on those hard tyres. Just goes to show how much more those hard tyres, actually how much more the medium tyres wear in comparison to the hards. This should be like stealing the sweets from a baby as Bon Evil swoops around the outside and up into the lead of the race. Dan Schneider can't fight it back. He has to settle for second place for now. How different his strategy could have been if we had 7 laps more of racing. I did say earlier, though, in the chat, drivers were allowed to change their tyres from qualifying if they plead to. But I didn't actually anticipate. Hang on, we started this race in the morning. How was the sun setting? That's another question. The sun shouldn't be setting. It should be midday by now, unless I put the tyre, the day multiplier thing on 1 too many. I think it should have been on ×4 for it to start when the sun rises, and it should finish round about midday in the afternoon. But oh well, it's going to settle. It's going to finish at dusk. I wonder if it can go nighttime. Actually, that's a question I want to experiment with on this game. If you set it, because for tracks like the Red Bull Ring, there are a number of tracks where you can't set midnight, which is the like full pitch black darkness. If you set it to like nighttime or dusk, which is like sunset, it's not quite pitch black, but you had your day time multiplier on ×10, which is the max. I wonder if it would get like pretty dark. It's not. I thought it was gonna. It looks cloudy from here, but when you look behind, it's not really cloudy. It's kind of foggy to be. I don't know what you'd call it. This has kind of turned into a podcast, really, because the gaps in between drivers are quite big. Danny Fox is closing on the back of Pierre. Still has the damage. But apologies about the lack of racing action. Hopefully we find new drivers, so if anyone knows anyone who's interested, then yeah, we're looking for more GT7 drivers. Hopefully we can get the old grids back together. To go through a few names, we have the likes of Play Dutchy, Tiger Assassin, Toussaint, Cryptech, Holland Campion. This is a throwback to some grids. We had Aston, Thunder, hopefully Woody as well. We can get some of the older drivers, as I say, back. Dan Schneider might be at a podium risk here because it's getting darker. I didn't actually anticipate for it to be dark, but we've been in this lobby for so long. That's probably what it's been, trying to get the lobby started, but the day's just gone by. Dan Schneider's risk of a second place might come to an end as Bon Evil starts the final lap. Number 20 of 20. Dan Schneider's tyres are gone, and he's got 2 drivers closing in on the back of him. It's like the final scene in Cars when, spoiler alert, when Lightning McQueen has the 2 tyre blowouts, and he's got Chick Hicks and the King closing in behind him. Cal Nissan GTR stay on the track as Ted is into the pits off the hards on the last lap. Here goes Piero, he's in the slipstream. Dan Schneider goes defensive to the inside, but he can't fight. He's going to try and fight it on those tyres. Can he finish this race on the podium, on the inside? It's got to be very slippery. They're temporarily 3 wide. down the back straight, and Dan Schneider's gone from first to fourth in a few laps' time. Is Danny Fox going to go for a move on Pierre around the outside? How the race has blown up at the end. With the damage, he's not going to give this one up without a fight. Anyone with a penalty, that's their chances of a podium over. Piero just about hanging on to second place ahead of Danny Fox. I thought that was Body Evil round, but it was Joe Black off in the barriers. Piero's gone wide, and Danny Fox has followed him. So he followed up on the inside, and he's gone through up into third place. Piero, though, has got the move done back up into second place. Can Danny Fox try and find one last way around the final corner? Joe Black in the middle of the track as blue flags getting in the way, and that is not great from Joe Black as Bonnie Evil wins the race. And Piero will just about hold off Danny Fox, and Dan Schneider in fourth place. Joe Black getting right in the way at the end. As Wolfie will finish this race and fit Ted in sixth and Joe Black in seventh place. But a well fought race from Bonnie Evil. Bided his time. The restarts catching Dan Schneider up. Dan Schneider, though, with great pace in this race. You can't take that away from him. But that will be it from us here at the Red Bull Ring. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Apologies about the kind of it's not been... Oh, I'm on the grid. But apologies about the kind of roughness to this race. Hopefully we can get all these issues sorted out for the future. I've been X9G, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.